Hello everyone and welcome back to another Magic the Gathering review. Today let's look at Linvala the Preserver. This is a mythic 5/5 legendary angel for 4 generic and double white mana. Being an angel, Linvala of course has flying, but she also comes with a couple new effects. When she enters the battlefield, if an opponent has more life than you, you gain 5 life. Also, upon entering the battlefield, if an opponent has more creatures than you, put a 3/3 white angel creature token with flying onto the battlefield as well. So we all remember Linvala from the original Zendikar block. Back then, she was known as the Keeper of Silence, and was a 3/4 flying angel for 2 generic and double white. She stayed true to her title, preventing all activated abilities of creatures your opponents controlled from being activated. In the lore, Linvala was one of the only creatures on Zendikar who could withstand the awesome power of the colorless Eldrazi. Her ability to silence an area of magic proved useful against these monsters beset on destroying her world. But even with her unique ability, the Eldrazi pushed ever forward, eventually wiping out a majority of the angels who sought to protect the plane. With their deaths, Zendikar lost some of its greatest guardians. I believe this was reflected in the cards released in Battle for Zendikar. I, like many, were expecting the return of some famous angels like Iona, but all we got in that set were a few nameless rares and some spells hinting to this lost creature type. So yeah, I was disappointed, but we're finally seeing some familiar flying faces in Oath of the Gatewatch with the reemergence of Linvala, known now as the Preserver. Let's take a closer look at her actual card. At face value, this card seems okay, but really dependent on how individual games are going. Linvala is like a comeback card, allowing you to catch up to an opponent who's in a better position than you. In another sense, this card's basically useless if you're winning, leaving her as nothing more than a 5/5 flyer for 6. Not very impressive. Linvala the Preserver is more comparable to Thragtusk than her original card. Thragtusk also gains you 5 life and a 3/3 creature, but unlike Linvala, there are no prerequisites to getting these effects. That's what I feel is this card's downfall. Yes, the life gain is nice, albeit useless in a life gain deck since you'll always have more life than your opponent, and snagging a free creature is always awesome. But the simple fact that you basically need to be losing for these useful bits to even work just limits this card's potential. If your opponent's behind, even by a little, then Linvala won't provide much. Linvala the Preserver is a far cry from her silencing days. She's seen some stark downgrades to be sure, but we can't live in the past. We play the cards we're dealt. And maybe, just maybe, Linvala the Preserver will find her way into a deck. At the very least, she'll provide some interesting story developments when the lore comes out. But I want to know what you guys think about Linvala the Preserver. Let me know in the comments below. And that's gonna do it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, consider throwing it a like and subbing to the channel. It goes a long way in supporting future content. As always, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.